Okay. I think I'm good to go. No, I'm not. I also want to spam Slack. Like I can close Discord for now. Oops. And we'll close Slack again. 3 minutes to qualifying. I can... Wait, is it streaming the right screen? Oh my god, it did this again. Well, I'm glad I caught it now. I don't know why it does this every now and again. It just does the wrong screen. This one. This one. Oh, you know what it probably is? It's probably, when I disconnect and reconnect my monitor, sometimes I plug them in to different ports unintentionally. And so that shuffles it all around. That's my guess. Okay. I think there's everything. Alright. So yes, format. In 2 minutes, I will qualify for 10 minutes. Well, 12 actually. And then, 125-minute race, 5-minute warm-up, another 25-minute race with the top 12 reversed. Scoring's funky because you have students and alums, but that doesn't factor into the top 12 getting reversed, so I'll figure it out. But practice went fairly well, so we shall see. We shall see how qualifying goes. I'm curious to see what qualifying pace looks like. I'm even more curious to see what people's consistency in the race looks like, and I'm even more curious to see what how people's pace changes and or drops off with tire degradation. Because I think this is a really high wear track compared to where we've been so far this season, so we shall see. I'm paranoid about my stuff being correct, but whatever. Ugh. Just hope I can get a clean race start. I think that'll be the most difficult part about this. Okay. I don't actually have enough fuel to run the full 10 minutes, which I normally do. But considering the 2-minute outlet, maybe that wasn't a good idea to start doing that at this track. But we are here now. don't know how, thank you for the stellar livery idea. Oh my god. Ah, good. Where are you going? Off the track. Thanks. Alright.
Green, green, green.
Ooh, Pacini got a bad exit out of the chicane. I'm gapping him in the relative. Yeah, and he hit it, so that'd be white. Alright. Because he's an alum. Makes sense. Wide. That's right, it's lap 1. Have enough fuel for 2 or 3, I think. Oh, it was bad. But keep it clean for a banker. That's worth something. Gaps are good. Not worried about Ian. Just taking it easy. That's solid, I think. But we can definitely do better. Slightly botched my line there. Cost me maybe half a 10. Oh, I hope I don't catch Ian. Too aggressive. Definitely too much throttle before the second apex there. That cost me a little. Oh no. That's a 10th right there. Damn. Still an improvement. Too wide again. How is that not an off track? Okay, I'll take it. Thank you. Very much appreciated. Better, but not quite enough. I think I went too extreme on my line there. That was good.
Don't get the pit for more fuel.
I don't think so. Excellent. Still no time. Oh my god. 100 max. Now you're so close. Ugh. Okay. I think I have time to do a little more. That is so close. Wow. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about that. I was trying to pull off, and the grass got too slippery.
Looks like your car is toast. You'll need to tow back to pit lane.
All the
Press and hold
blunders.
the reset button, and we'll come and get you.
All the blunders. Now, I don't know if I have enough time. I don't. Damn it. Dumbass. Yeah, I don't have time. Oh, that was what I was shooting for through that corner. That's an extra 10. Which would have put me P2. Oh well. That's okay, we're at the front. So that's alright. Wow, I need to not do that in the race. That's scary. That's really scary. Okay.
Pit box in 10, 5, 3, 2, 1. Right here.
Hmm. Okay. P4. That's gonna put me on the outside, right? I think it's gonna put me on the outside. I'm also, side note, surprised that nobody other than Ted broke into the 159s. That's honestly surprising to me. But maybe that's a good thing? It's probably a good thing. I'm not sure.
That's it, go. One left
Oh,
to
I'm on
green.
the outside.
Line up on the left
No, that is what I
side.
expected.
Closed, pit road is closed.
Okay. So I want this. We want no fuel. We want no tire. Whoops. No tire. We want...
Good luck, everyone.
everything okay. And we... But we don't have fast repairs. I wonder if we were supposed to have that fast repair at Daytona, which I used, so I won't complain. But that's not consistent. I can't remember if we're supposed to have it or not. Oh man, Justin and Hagen right behind me. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Should be interesting. Okay. I don't know why I'm a little more... I feel like I'm a little more nervous this time than usual. Oh, but that's student pull because all three of these guys are alum. Neat. Well, that's something, I guess. Come on.
About to go green. Stay focused. The pace car is in.
Good start. For once.
Green flag, green flag.
Really? Come on, man.
Stay on the left. Clear.
Alright. His league is CiL, Collegiate iRacing League. I almost said series. Participation is a little low for the summer. I think we have like 18 people tonight. Usually we can get 25 or so on average. Bruh. Are you serious? Oh my god. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Right side. Clear on the right.
Well, that happened. Oh my god. I don't even think I did anything differently. I don't know what it was. Ugh. Thankfully, I think my car is okay. Because I really thought I was going to have to pit, and that was going to be the end of it. But hopefully I'll be able to make some moves. This is not necessarily an easy track to do that at. Anyway, as I was saying.
You got a slow car on the left. Go right.
Oh, what on earth?
You got a slow car on the left.
See if I can get both of these guys.
I don't think I touched you, but if I did, I'm sorry.
Car on your left. Still there.
I think he touched me pretty good.
Still there. Clear on the left.
Surprised at how good of a run Pacini got, considering how he went on through the chicane. That's okay. I'm actually going to be able to get into the top 12, I think. Which is big for that grid reverse. I need to not talk. Oh my god. I really need to focus. Because I cannot get away with chatting to myself here like I could at Daytona. Too aggressive into spoon again. Oh. I haven't actually really drag raced anybody down the front straight until now, so I wonder if I'm running too much aero, and that's going to hurt me on these passing opportunities. Oh, he brakes early. Come on, turn in. Whoa! What the fuck was that? I think my wheel disconnected and reconnected in the span of, I don't know, some tiny fraction of a second. Which was terrifying. Oh, here we go.
Oh, pantalino sama. Good work.
Shut up. I let off way too much. But I don't know how much he was going to let off, and so I just ruined the progress I made in the last lap. This is going to suck. Am I going to be around to put Aero back on the car? Maybe tomorrow morning if somebody else is also available. Grass, grass, grass.
Go right.
Woo.
Blue car ahead.
Woo.
Go right.
Whack. Fucking whack. Alright, now we got a gap to close. I'm like not gonna be reading these chat messages, I'll be honest. Because I looked down at my laptop and like 10 messages have popped up since I last when I said it. Normally it's quiet enough that I can actually read everything, but not this time. Hagen's up to P2. Damn. Tomorrow I'm gonna, okay, we can figure out Aero on Slack.
Car ahead. Car stopped ahead. Go left.
Michael T. I definitely want to shoot for P7. I don't know if 6 is doable. How much time do I have? Half the race.
You are blinking, by the way.
Yeah, Max is blinking in practice / quali. I didn't say anything, but it's pretty bad.
You just kind of blink a lot and let him do.
I hate how I get oversteer there. That's really scary. There we go. Again, how that's not an off track, I do not understand. But I'll take it. Too tight. They're still steadily catching the 2 guys ahead, and now that they're going to go into spoon side by side, possibly that only helps. Wow, they're all over each other. Wow, Ted has run away. Like, I'm not surprised, but that's really fast. Wide, 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 wide. Fine. Yeah, there's like a little kind of bump in the road right there, and I think sometimes if I'm really pushing and also downshifting around there, it can really unsettle the car. Just a deadly combo right there.
Go left.
Hunter, no! Rip. Oh, come on. Need to be making up more time on the 2 ahead. Our pace is stabilized. I'm also probably going to have to start worrying about Hunter catching me. I don't know what his race pace is compared to mine, but I know he's a lot faster than everyone else that's behind me. Bad, but acceptable. What are their lap times? Okay, so I was a little faster than the guys ahead. Oh, Hunter's pitting. What? Alright, well I guess I don't have to worry about him anymore. Granted, he is an alum, so we're not scored together anyway, but still. One less to worry about, as they say. Getting the feeling that Andrew's definitely quicker than Alex. Up ahead. But he just can't find the opportunity to make the move. That makes that easy. Now, I'm not expecting to make up more places, especially with only 6 minutes to go. But you never know. You never know.
Yeah,
so we'll keep pushing.
Recalibrated, like, well, I hit that bump and then I had the wheel in the wrong spot. Nothing to do with you at all. Yeah, my wheel is still uncalibrated. It's off by like a factor of 45 degrees.
My pace has not dropped off that much, which is a bit of a surprise, to be honest. Granted, I didn't pay attention to how my pace changed too much when I did my long run about an hour ago. I think my pace difference before or at the start and at the end of that run was more due to my own driving consistency than tires. I also didn't go all the way down to empty. Man, and Higgins even gapped Justin. Jeez. It's kinda tough. Oh, botched it. Yikes. So I made up places, but they were all the people making mistakes and just kind of handing me positions, which kind of sucks, but also I can't complain. These points are points. God, I'm sweaty. Meant to crank my AC some more. I totally forgot to. I am gaining on the cars ahead, amazingly, but just not by enough. A really good end to that lap. Ooh, Max Neener swerving around up there. May have been a pass. Ooh, they're slowing themselves down a lot. But I think next lap is final lap. So I'll be amazed if I got an opportunity. They'd have to, like, properly crash.
Can I get a black flag cleared? I searched it. Like, white flag this time.
Yeah. Not enough time. Yeah, other than Ted up front, I'm the fastest car on track right now. So it kind of sucks because there's, just like Daytona 2 weeks ago, yikes, lots of potential.
Thank you.
And I kind of squandered it.
You've got about 2 laps of fuel.
Oi, that's an off track.
Slow car ahead. Go right.
Freebie, freebie. Hee And that was a student as well. So that actually is properly for position. Nice. I won't say it yet. Is there still an opportunity for me to fuck it up? Take it very easy through 130R this time. That is, somehow, an all-Clemson podium. That's P3. Wild. As the sun comes out.
Alright, there's checkered flag.
Yeah, that's P3 in student.
Nice run. Solid work.
So that was 4th to, like, 17th. 4th to 17th to 3rd. Not to 3rd, to 5th. But in class, 1st to like last to third. Whatever, who cares? That was decent, pretty decent recovery there. Because realistically, there's a solid chance that Hagen and Justin would have gotten by me in the race anyway. So. Not too shabby. Okay. Let's do it again. So now I'll be starting from 7th. Oh, okay, so there's a little damage on my either bumper or fender. I wonder if that's what was costing me down the front straight, and that's why I couldn't gain on anybody. That's very possible. Interesting. Very interesting. Nice. Uh... No, if anyone missed it, I spun in 130R self-spin, lap 1. But I was able to mostly recover the ankle critically this time without losing control and coming back on track to just basically sideswipe the tire wall on the inside of the exit of 130R. So little bodywork damage, but pretty minimal. It didn't really feel like anything to performance. And only 3 incidents as well. That's quite good. I wonder how many incidents other people were getting. I can see that, right? From... It's a loud fucking helicopter. Can I see this, but like, from the last session, please? No, I can't. What's... Am I dumb? Probably. Okay. Whatever. I'll look after. But I'm curious about where everyone stands on incident points. Anyway. Anyway. I should do warm-up, but I probably won't. Actually, where is Hagen in the standings? I closed Discord on my computer. But I'm already looking at it on my phone. Hagen is 4th. He's only 13 points behind me. Okay. Yikes. So it can't be that chill. But we'll see. We shall see how this goes. Hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking about if I didn't spin, then I don't think it would have been that much better. But we'll see how the invert affects things. I feel like chances are the front cars are gonna be making mistakes, but I don't know if they'll make mistakes quickly enough for everybody behind to really push. So we'll see. We'll see. Is Whitlock the guy that's all up in my space in the standings? Yeah. By that I mean leading the championship. Okay. I don't think he did any. I don't think he did any practice, so that's why he was a few places back. But with the invert, he will be at the front. Not at the front, but close to the front, at the front. This invert's gonna be spicy. It's gonna be spicy. Alright, getting ready to grid here. Just a few more seconds. Okay. So 13 gallons.
One lap to green. Line up on the left side. Pit road is closed right
Okay, so I'm
now.
alongside Ian. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Andrew. Okay. Alright. It's doable. It's very doable. Oh, I am carrying too much fuel, but it's too late now. Alright, let's do this. Ugh. Oof. AOL for Hunter. Big oof.
You hate to see it.
You really do.
He's not.
About to go green. Stay focused.
Oh, that's scary.
Post car is off. Time to do your job.
Good start relative to the inside line, bad start relative to my lane.
Green flag, green flag.
But what can you do? Oh, that's contact, boys.
Right side. Still there. Still there.
Oh, geez, they're gonna cross the track again, aren't they?
You got a slow car on the left. Clear on the right. Car right. Go right. Still there. Hold your line.
Justin on my outside.
Still there. Hold your line.
Oh, no, it's not.
Clear.
Oh, God. I'm glad I could keep it clean, but now it's like max push straight out of the gate. Which is not a surprise, but... Oh, God, I forgot. He's blinking. Which I love. Alright. Hey, it's the exact same thing I did. Just funny because that means Justin just watched the person in front of him do it twice in a row. Ooh, really botched that second deck now. Somehow no off track, but I don't really care. Interesting. Yeah, Rodriguez is going to start holding us up here.
Left side, go right. Clear on the left.
Oh, that solved itself pretty damn fast. Saw Justin try to sneak a nose in there. Almost did. Alright, back into P5. But in theory, the cars ahead are slower. For now.
You're in fifth.
For some reason, I feel like in the race session compared to practice, I'm able to brake later in turn 1. Which I'll take. It's a little odd, but I'll take it. Don't really understand why. Maybe I'm just more comfortable with the car, maybe I tweaked my line without realizing it. Just made up a bunch of time to the guys behind for some reason. Oh, too fast. I do really want to finish ahead of Whitlock, though. And make progress on him in the championship in both races. That'd be good. A little sketchy. Looks like Ian behind's gotten himself a penalty, which lets Justin and Ted free, which I'm not a fan of. But it is what it is. Why is Hagen's mic open? Okay. I feel like I have to imagine that Athena is holding up Ryan here. He's probably faster. I'd be surprised if he wasn't.
How did I get a black flag for that?
Oh god. So Ted's through. But they both got slowed down. And we're all bunched up behind Athena now.
I mean, Josh, I feel like you brake checked me there. You braked so early for that. Like, I left early and still was too late, I guess.
Come on. Ooh.
Slow car ahead. Go right. Go right.
It's not even my birthday yet. What the fuck? Oh.
Second position right now.
Alright, keep it calm.
I hope that's a penalty for you, buddy.
So the sun's come out, the track may heat up, and grip may worsen. So that's something to keep in mind here. Scary. "15 minutes to go." So Ted's totally gonna catch me, I'm just gonna let him through. We'll see about Ryan though. Definitely gonna do my best to keep pushing. man. Where'd Ted go? Whack. One less to worry about. I need Whitlock and Daly to start tripping over each other. Maybe not need, but I'd love if that happened. It also appears that the sun has once again gone behind the clouds, which is a good thing, I think. Slightly fewer variables. Is welcome when I'm in a position like this. Whew. I'm sweating. Alright, we're getting there. Sorry for being completely silent, but I need it.
5 laps of fuel left.
What's up? Gaps around me are closing. I think we're all right. Really nice.
Sorry, Hagen, but you are all over the place.
Yikes. Big yikes. one to go here.
White flag, white flag.
One more lap, just like the rest of them.
You have about 2 laps of fuel left.
Hunter Black, alright. May or may not be worth watching after the race. Ooh, both Nick and Ted have made quite a bit of progress this lap. Interesting. Nice and easy. Ladies and gentlemen,
There's the flag. It's over.
that is another student
Nice
class
run.
win.
Solid work.
Whew. It made me work for it. I was looking at my relative the entire time, but I managed to keep it clean, so I'm really, really happy with that. Wow. That was a workout. That was a workout. That was fun, though. I think this car with this setup is probably the best feeling car I've had at Suzuka, which is rather fortunate. Pretty wide on the cooldown lap. Oh man. Nice. Ted with a full speed pit entry and exit. Backup pits, very nice. Alright, that deserved a full cooldown lap.
Okay, Okay, the race is over. Bring it
Awesome,
on in.
awesome.
Pit boxing in
Very, very happy with how that turned out. I'm annoyed with that spin, but realistically it may not have cost me anything, and
1.
is Pacini going to do it
Right
again?
here.
He scared me.
That's it, go.
Yeah, a third place and a first place in class is awesome. It's a really good result. So I'm very, very pleased with that. Oh my god, I get to do an interview. I've never done an interview before. I'll see how that goes. I'll do it live. Why not? We'll do it live. Whew. Whew. Man, I'm tired. Well, is this where I'm supposed to be? I don't even know if this is where I'm supposed to be. Hmm. Hmm. I mean, it says interview waiting room. If I was good, I'd also have the broadcast open so I know what they're saying, but I don't. So I don't. Ugh. God. I'm gonna take my shoes off at least. Ugh. Ladies and gentlemen, we did get him. Very, very happy with that. Where did Hagen end up in race 2? I know he did pretty well. Oh. Maybe not. Yikes. Okay. Did I not send this message? Oh, okay, I'm in the right place. Alright. We vibing. We just waiting. I don't want to do this interview, man. I don't know what to say. I don't know how interviews work. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh. Somebody was in here and then they left. Ooh.
Thomas Crump from Clemson
Oh.
University. And Thomas, congrats first off, second spot on the podium. Walk us through the evening, the events, and what do you think? What do you think of the team run tonight?
Yeah, thanks. Man, first race qualified well and had that little spin in 130R lap 1 and just spent the whole race in recovery mode. Ended up P3 in student class. That was really nice. And I was really interested to see how the invert would affect things. But I knew my pace was decent, tire wear wasn't that bad, and all that. And after some spins and some other events unfolded in front of me in the first few laps, I was P2 with Ryan chasing me down, and I spent the entire race, looking in my relative, which is really bad, but I got away with it. So pressure was on, but I made it work. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, Thomas, congratulations on the P2 finish tonight in race 2. I know you mentioned, you had a spin in 130R early on in race 1 and went into recovery mode. Are you seeing red and you're focused on overtaking cars after this mistake, or are you just trying to consolidate what you had, run your own race, and let the race come to you?
More the latter there, I think. Especially what with the layout of this track and how difficult it can be to pass. I was wondering if I had any damage after that bump. It didn't feel like I did, but after the race, it looked like I had a little bodywork damage. So I don't know if that was hurting my straight line speed. Because the 1 or 2 times I was drafting somebody down the front straight, I wasn't gaining on him at all. And after all the places I made up in race 1, I don't think any of them were actual passes. They were just freebies from other people's mistakes, which kind of sucks. But points are points. I'll take them. So.
Oh, Thomas, I know you, you know me. It's great to see you up here carrying the OWR banner tonight in P2. It's driving real smart tonight. I wish you could have won, but I mean, did you have anything for Jamie, or did you really just, think I'm in second place? I'm just gonna keep cruising here, and if something happens, it happens. But overall, I'm happy where I'm at.
Main goal was definitely trying to keep it clean. At first, I think behind me was actually Ted in front of Whitlock, and I was like, okay, I know Ted's gonna catch me. I'm thinking about the championship. I just want the student points. So I didn't even say if to myself. I said when Ted catches me, I'll let him through. So that was the mindset. I was honestly not paying any attention to Jamie. But I did look after I'd kind of settled in that I was faster than him on a couple laps by a few tenths, but I don't think it was ever enough to really get me to push for that.
Well, Thomas, lastly, any shout outs you want to make tonight on the stream?
Yeah, actually, it's somehow it almost seems weird, but at the same time, not that this is the first time I've ended up doing an interview for anything sim racing ever. But yeah, so shout out to any friends that may be watching, and I did send my parents the link to this stream for the first time, so hopefully they're watching. If so, shout out, hi mom, hi dad. Yeah, and shout out to you guys for keeping everything running.
Of course, of course. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, my friend. We'll have a team debrief later, but as always, keep racing.
All right, thank you guys. See you. Well, that was surprisingly smooth. I didn't say anything colossally dumb. And on that note, I will end the stream. Next race is at Barber in 2 weeks' time. I'm probably gonna do it. I don't know how much I'm gonna practice for it. I don't know how good I'll be for it. But I should give it a go. I should spend a few hours trying to learn it and give it a go. But we'll see. We shall see. And if I'm not there in 2 weeks' time, following races in 1 month's time at Road Atlanta, and of course I'm gonna be there. It's Road Atlanta. So looking forward to those. Really happy with how tonight went. Yeah. Thanks for watching. See you next time if I can find OBS. See you.